Reports of Bournemouth man Antoine Semenyo making a move to City are heating up, with the club confident of getting the deal done in January. But could he make the difference for the Sky Blues in this year's title race?
Antoine Semenyo, who hasn't scored since October, he's just smashed the ball in off the post.
A confident Semenyo is a frightening player. You know, he's taken everyone by storm this season.
Just sensational. Box office player, everything. Also, he's got the pace, the power, athleticism, but with the ball. That's what he's elite with. He can go left, he can go right. His ball striking's unbelievable. He's just box office.
I'm still surprised that Semenyo hasn't been bought by one of the top clubs.
Oh, how has he squeezed that in? He's having the season of his life. Bournemouth back on level terms with a moment of brilliance from Semenyo.
If they were to bring in Semenyo when the window opens in the new year, they bring Semenyo straight in and they get him in the first team. Is it impossible for Liverpool to retain a Premier League title?
Do they need him? Yes. He'd enhance their forward line for sure.
No, I don't think there's any doubt about that. Man's on fire, to tell you the truth. Gabby's been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
According to sources, City have made positive progress in recent days and now believe they are well placed to sign the 25-year-old. He's been different class, Gabby, hasn't he? I've got to say. And really pleased to say, joining us now is someone who knows Antoine better than most. It's a very good morning to Semenyo's private skills coach. That is, of course, Saul Isaksson-Hurst. Saul, a very good morning to you. How are you this morning?
Good morning, boys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks very much for joining us, Saul. The first thing I would say to you, Saul, it might be kind of a strange question, right? And it is this. And what is no doubt about it, I mean, players nowadays have full-on careers, whether it's games and Carabao Cups, FA Cups, league campaigns, internationals. Where does somebody like Semenyo find the time to do extra training and extra work with yourself? I'm saying it, I think it's fantastic that players are doing it, but where do they find the time, mate?
Yeah, listen, it's difficult, and traditionally most of this work takes place in the off season. So we did like an intense, few weeks camp to get him prepared and get him firing, and work on all those things that were going to hopefully make him, stand out. And it's very successful. He's been one of the most exciting players in the Premier League this year. He's explosive, He's dynamic, and and then in and around that, we try and find as much as possible. It's difficult in the schedule, particularly players with all the commitments, all different tournaments. But when we can, I'll feed back as well. In terms of giving us some feedback in terms of his games and watching that as well. So it's a delicate balance, basically.
Yeah.
Saul, I've spoken to you a couple of times, and I know the sort of training you've done with Semenyo and Madueke and other players. So far this season, he had a great start, didn't he? He went through a little bit of a dry spell, then he's come back with the goals and assists, 8 goals, 3 assists in 16 games. Where do you think he fits into a Man City side? Because they obviously have Doku, Savinho, Shirky, Foden, so many options. Is it a case of he's not going to start as many games as he would at Bournemouth, for instance?
No, not necessarily. I think, listen, it's like all teams look at, same as Noni going to Arsenal, lots, and Eze as well.
Yeah.
More teams, there's competition for places. That's what you want at the top team, to challenge everybody. And like I said, Semenyo's not going to go there to be second fiddle to anybody. He's going to go there to challenge, to get in the team. And he has all the assets to play, I was thinking about this earlier in terms of whether it's City or United, but City, they are playing a bit more direct sometimes, utilising Haaland like that. He can go over the top, he can break the line in that transition.
Scary.
Also, he's so good in 1v1, 1v2 situations. He can break players down. So he's such a dangerous tool for any manager to have in their locker, and I'm sure that's why everyone is trying to get him.
So tell me, mate, see when players come to you and you're working with players, how does it operate, mate? Do they come to you and ask you about a specific thing they want to work on, or do they come to you and say, have a wee look, what do you think I need to improve on? Where do you think I can improve? What I'm effectively asking you is that question, and what do you see yourself as?
Yeah, listen, I think it's always a combination of both. Do you know what I mean? Those guys come to sessions, they want to improve. It might just be, look, I want to get ready, I want to work on these key things. And then in that process, like I say, it's a two-way conversation. I say, what about this? Look at this. And we'll look at, for example, my philosophy is around trying to break the game down into those game-changing moments. In Antoine's case, as a 7 or 11, as a forward player, attacking forward player, what does that look like? Obviously, breaking the line, beating players on both sides, shots and finishes, and obviously crosses. Have a look at all of that in his armoury, and then can we add to that? Can we challenge that to make it a little bit better? And as you know, marginal gains are such a key thing in the sport today. And if I could squeeze a little bit out, a little, 1%, even less than that 1% out in any of those areas, that might be the difference. And, look at him, how he's, hit the ground running this season. Obviously, I'm not taking credit for that. It's him. He's put the work in. It just shows how important it is to, to really put that extra in and try and refine your art as much as possible.
From watching him, Saul, you'll know him a lot better than us, but he looks like, even if he gets a move to Manchester City, he's got the right attitude, he's got the right desire, the work rate. And he just seems like a good lad. Sometimes you get players and you're like, okay, they get that big move and they don't want to track back now. They think they've made it. He doesn't look like that sort of player at all. No,
listen, he's got no ego. Generally, really nice guy, top guy to talk to, really friendly, really outgoing. But yeah, he puts the work in. And I think it's also a testament to him and obviously his journey, quite a unique journey. Didn't play academy football. He's had to go the harder route. Gets his first pro at 18, works his way up. And, you can tell that by his game as well. So, he's very humble in that respect. Nothing's been handed to him and, deserves everything that's coming upon him. But, yeah, I think he'll be a great asset to any team, any change room, because he is generally just a generally nice guy. He really works really hard.
It's funny, Saul, because you mentioned it earlier, and I'm kind of repeating what you've just said, but I've written down here, is that the difference between the really, really good players and the great players to make them elite? Is it just the small things that make the difference?
I think it can make the difference, and it's difficult. Everybody's different. There's no one way to do things. It's not an exact science. But with the players I'm fortunate to work with, again, Noni and, Flo and Monaco, seeing their progression after they're putting that extra work in and squeezing out and having that mentality to understand that, the best do more. That's a cliche, but, the more you put in, the more you get out. And obviously you've got to balance that and understand how that works in that framework. But yeah, I think now, I see, some players I used to work with and maybe who've dropped off, maybe haven't fulfilled their potential and gone on to their careers because maybe they have got a bit comfortable. They've got that contract and they've accepted maybe I've arrived. Where these guys, there's a new generation of guys, but you understand, look, this is just the start of the journey. If he goes to Man United or goes to City or whatever, that's just another start. Right, we start again. Right now, I want to be the best player at Man City. I want to be the best player in the Prem. I want to be the best player in world football. So that's really is. I think that's the difference. The outliers have that. Those guys have that, and they want to strive to be the best.
So, just a quick one from me. Last one. We play Ghana in the World Cup. Thomas Tuchel might be listening. How do we stop Semenyo, mate, in the World Cup?
Well, good luck, first of all, trying to stop Semenyo. But double up, definitely. It's going to be a lot of double up, triple up. Yeah.
See, old double up, isn't it?
Get back in here, help me out.
It must be the easiest job in the world when a full-back nowadays, Gabby. So you're just shouting, right, the boy in front, you get back here, help me. Yeah. So, listen, mate, thanks very much for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, mate.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Have a good one, mate.
All the best.